What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Monday, by the way. Hopefully you guys are having a good start to the week. We got a little bit of news here from Plarium, so I want to share that with you guys here today. But first, let's pick the 5 giveaway winners here. We did do a video last week talking about the statistics landing page for Plarium. And for those that entered, we're going to be doing 5 winners here today. So I'm going to pick them right here on this video, so there's full transparency for that. Select a filter which you would like to use. Anything goes. So here we're going to use keyword, and it's going to be UM, since I asked everybody to provide their UM IDs. And we're going to pick 5 winners, and I'm just going to be dropping the UM IDs towards Plarium, and then they're just going to give you guys the loot. All right, so good luck to everybody. So pick a winner. Dice on Rice, congratulations. I still remember watching your comparison between CC summaries in 2023, gem use, full masteries, and they reduced the info in 2004 and now in 2025. What a joke. There you go. Congratulations, Dice, for continuing to follow the channel. You got a little bit of a win there. Up next, Tai Cusd. All right, I'm very low on the Shogun points. All right, you got a little bit of extra rewards here. So second winner. So third winner, Wim Jansen's. Interesting video like always. You're welcome. Congratulations on the win. Fourth one, Tansoon. Congratulations on the win. And last winner is Ed Wink. Congratulations, guys. I'll be sending off those UMIDs to Plarium, and then you guys will be looking out for those rewards in your inbox. If you guys want to jump into these kind of giveaways on this channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys can follow along with all the news. Anyways, on to the meat of the video here. We got some juicy news here from Plarium. Hey folks, on Tuesday, May 13th, we're launching a extra legendary event for Ancient Shards. You've already been familiar with the mechanics. If you summon a legendary champion from an Ancient Shard during the event, you'll get a different extra one from the same shard. It can only work once per event. You won't be charged silver for the extra summon, although keep in mind that the extra champion won't be counted towards quests, events, or tournaments. Who are we kidding? Plarium never gives us extra legendary events during things like Champion Chase or Summon Rushes, or very rarely. I feel like they probably have one time maybe in the past, but I don't recall it being a regular thing. So anyway, so we have an extra legendary event. It's going to come straight from the blue shards here. Keep in mind that the rates will be, the base rates. So you only have a 0.5% chance of pulling a legendary from Ancient Shard. Now that isn't great, right? So Mercy starts at 200 for Ancient Shards. And I believe the odds of you going towards Mercy and not pulling a legendary at 0.5% chance, I believe is around 60% or slightly less. So it's like roughly better than a coin flip. It's definitely not ideal. And at 1% boosted rates, I believe it's about a coin flip at about 100, or I believe it's about 60%. Somewhere around there. Better than a coin flip at around 100. Anyways, the odds are not great, but if you're just looking for legendaries, extra legendary events are the best. And you can definitely maximize the advantage you have in these type of events by tracking your Mercy. If you're close to Mercy on Ancient Shards, you can basically target this point, the 200 summon point, where you're going to get super boosted rates to get towards the legendary. Now this really kind of only works on Ancients and Voids. I mean, it does work on Primals in the same way, but it does not really work on Sacred Shards, because Sacred Shards, the Mercy kicks in at 12 plus, and the rate at which you gain Mercy percentage is very slow. You can kind of see here, Sacred right here, only 2%. So extra legendary events for Sacred Shards is not super significant. Whether you're Mercy or not, you get a small boost. But for Ancient, it's very massive. So I have 135 Ancients here. We actually had a Ancient extra event about 6 weeks ago. So Plarium has been kind of doing this basically on rotation very regularly. So these extra legendary events, don't worry, they do show up relatively frequently and regularly now, roughly at about 6 to 8 week cycles. All right, so how do you keep track of your Mercy? So I use RSL Helper here. It's a very powerful tool, fully sanctioned by Plarium, created by Farstoff and his team. If you guys are interested in this tool, I'm going to link a video I made on how to use it. You have to visit his Discord for the official version, so make sure you guys download the official version. But it's a powerful tool. It allows you to basically do auto battles and all that, so you don't have to use your multi-battles. Only works on PC and all that. But the Mercy Tracker is one of the most, easiest things about it. Basically, when you have it on and your game is on and you're pulling shards, it keeps track of all your shards. If you can't do that, or you don't want to use the program, you can definitely use the old pen and paper trick. Just write down how many shards you pull or use a spreadsheet or Excel and then just write down how many shards you pull, so that you can keep track of your mercy. At least when you pull a legendary, you can start keeping track of how much you pull, and then it leads you down into a advantageous position like I am in right now. So you can kind of see here, I'm at 158 ancients pulled, and this happened during the Lysanthier fusion, during the final event, where I basically pulled extra ancient shards to capitalize on some endgame resources. Since then, I haven't pulled a single ancient shard because I knew that I'm going to participate in a extra legendary event when it happens, and now we know it's going to happen tomorrow. So I've been sitting on 158 ancient shards until this moment. And for me, it's going to be a pretty easy, double legendary tomorrow for relatively low amount of shards, 50 or less. Now, for example, if I wasn't keeping track of these ancient shards, maybe I would have pulled my ancient shards during the past weekend where I had double value for ancient shards, and then I would have maybe gotten one legendary, not getting full value from getting the extra legendary, so 2 legendaries tomorrow. Now, I get asked this question a lot, whether the extra legendary events are actually better than 2 times chance events. And a lot of it it depends. If you're strictly looking for legendaries, the extra legendary event actually gives you some of the highest rates to pull more legendaries, if that's totally what you're into. But if you're still progressing through the game, the value of the epics is actually very, very important and worth considering when you're deciding when to pull. So for example, if we hop back into the percentage chances here, if you're looking at ancient shards, the chance for epics also double during 2x events. This is actually really important. At 16% epics, you're getting a good boost in epics towards your roster. So if your account is still progressing through the game, the extra chance of epics is actually more important than a slight boost in extra legendaries, mainly because epics, they're the kind of the workhorses of your account. They do lots of work, and in some cases, many cases actually, epics are actually better than legendaries. You can empower them more quickly. They cost less books, so they're quicker to book out and get maximum value from them, and you can more quickly fill your faction guardians to give them more additional stat boosts. So I usually recommend going for 2x chance events if your account is still progressing, if they can still benefit from having lots and lots of epics. For both my accounts, it's beyond that stage, so I'm basically just looking for legendaries, filling out legendary faction guardians, getting empowerment, etc, etc. So I'm taking the extra chances at legendaries whenever possible. Also keep in mind that these extra legendary events, like the one that we are having tomorrow, usually don't land during summon events, champion chases, or anything like that, like Deck of Fate, Hero's Path. So you're not getting any additional rewards like chickens, energy, gems, whatever, books. You're not getting any extra rewards for your pulls. Again, this is going to be totally account dependent and progress dependent, but if you definitely rely on getting extra resources when you pull your shards, you're not going to get those usually from extra legendary events like the one we're having tomorrow. That's just more reason to save for 2x events. On the same train of thought, you're also probably not going to get any value towards a fusion event when doing these extra legendary events. So these are all things to consider when you're pulling tomorrow. Ancients is definitely the best in terms of this type of structure where you're getting the extra legendary event. Like I said, you can keep track of your mercy. You can really target when you want to pull your shards, and you can get your extra legendary for very, very cheap if you plan things out really, really well. Like I said, I got pretty deep in my ancients about 3 weeks ago. I haven't pulled a single ancient since because I didn't want to take the risk of pulling a single legendary out of one shard. Instead, I waited for the extra legendary, which we will have tomorrow, and I'll get my 2 for a relatively cheap price. All right, so hopping over to the Plarium Play calendar here, I wanted to make a quick note about this just so you guys can all see it. But on Friday, we have the Champion Chase. It's going to be happening. It's going to be towards the fusion. Now, I know not many of you guys are going for the fusion. About 19% said yes, which is twice as high as Lysanthier the month before. But we do have a champion chase, and during this event, it should be a 2x event. And we are expecting 2x void shards to be pulled for this weekend to get double points. Now, there is a small chance, there is a realistic chance, I would say, not small, realistic, that it might be 2x primal shards as well, or just 2x primals, no 2x voids. But the highest likelihood is it's 2x voids. So just something to keep in mind, something to look forward to in the next couple of days. Again, these 2x events are on 6-week rotations. So these things will happen again, and we can expect them to happen in the future. Anyways, guys, just a quick rundown on the event for tomorrow and what we should do. Too long, don't watch. Summary is keep track of your mercy and be patient. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Hopefully you guys have a great Monday. Appreciate your time as always, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.